Episode 5 of the Bald Guy's Opinion starts in 30 seconds. Welcome, everybody. This episode is brought to you by the Hustle Hub, your small business support community. This is a Facebook community where we help small business owners, entrepreneurs, musicians, artists, writers, whatever it is, sales reps. If you are in business and you need help, need support, join the community, join our group. That information will be in the description after the show. And in the meantime, I'm going to bring on somebody who took Miami by storm in the 80s with Secret Society, with dropping hits like Why Did You Run Away, We Belong Together, Too Blind to See, Find Yourself, just to name a few. And he's not just a great singer in English, but man, he's recorded Spanish, and he's even dropped a couple of country gems, especially one that I loved that he did during COVID. So, Rudy, welcome, bro. Thank you for being on here, man.
No, thanks for letting me be a part of your podcast. Pretty cool.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Dude, before we get to you and what you do and stuff, what's up with the Dolphins, bro? What's up with the Dolphins? Talk to me.
It's amazing. Football's an interesting sport. You know, watching the Eagles and the San Francisco go down to some really bad teams. It goes to tell you that, to me, I've heard commentators say it. I'm just going to repeat it. Anybody can win on any given Sunday. You have an injury to a crucial player, like you lose a quarterback or a running back or a really good receiver, and vice versa. Somebody on defense. You pay the price in the NFL, But the Dolphins have come out smoking, and it's interesting. I mean, I think Tyreek Hill has brought a certain energy to the team. I didn't know about that trade. I said, man, can Tua actually get this guy the ball? I mean, he's 80 yards downfield in like 4 seconds. Does Tua have that kind of arm? But they figured it out. They finally figured out how to use him correctly, and Tua. Anyways, the Dolphins are doing great, man.
I mean, and I was looking at Facebook while I was waiting for you to come on. Colin Cowherd, es un estúpido. I saw his power ranking. He ranked the NFL, the teams this week. He put the Dolphins 8. El tipo es un idiota. The NFL has ranked the Dolphins number 1, San Francisco number 2. Bro, with the numbers that the Dolphins are putting and the yards and everything that they're doing, how can you not put them number 1? I know they lost to the Bills.
At least for sure in the top 5 or 4. For sure.
Bro, the numbers that they're putting is...
No, they're crazy. They're crazy numbers.
Crazy numbers.
Two is like in the lead of, in pass completions and yardage. The other kid... I didn't know that the kid, Caney, is it a Caney? How his name is? Caney?
I don't know. I think
that kid is like running like
impressive.
The Dolphins are like, I don't know. There's some kind of magic in the air, but we'll take it, right? It's almost like it's so much fun to watch that you're always saying, "Are those the Dolphins?" Like, because you almost got to pinch yourself and say, "Yeah, those are the Dolphins."
Oh my God. No sé si te recuerda, we went together with Ray Fandino in the 90s. We went to see the Dolphins play against the Colts. And back when Sammy Smith was with the Dolphins. That was crap, Sammy bro. Smith. Wow. I remember that game. He ran. When he was good, he was good. When he was bad, he was bad. He ran down the field and he fumbled the ball.
Yeah, I remember that.
And bro, either the passing was on and there was no running. And then in the 70s, you got the running game, but hardly any passing. Because, I mean, I remember here, I wasn't around. I was born in 76. Tú estás un poquito más viejo que yo. But I've read the stats, man, and that in the 70s, great running game, but the passing game was okay. But now we got we got the best of both worlds.
And they got a solid defense. They got a pretty good defense.
They're getting better.
They're coming along. Wilkins is filling it up. Wilkins is filling up the gaps in the middle down there, which is a tough position as a football player. And then that when a guy like that takes two blockers on, or a blocker and a half, let's call it, that opens up your line for your linebackers, and the linebackers are able to read, and then this guy's stuffing up the offensive line. Anyway, they're looking great, man. They're looking solid. They're a solid, fun team to watch. They're a young team, so they're fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna waste my time and ask you about the Hurricanes. I don't even want to talk about them.
Oh, you don't want my opinion on that.
No. I've read your opinion on them. We've spoke about it.
You know what? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's just give that about 2 minutes worth of our time. I got to tell you, this guy's a meathead.
Bro, Cristobal is an idiot, bro. That guy he's a good recruiter. Because they got.
And then you know what? Then you should be a good recruiter.
Yeah, stick to what you know. Stick to what you know.
I mean, Jimmy Johnson was a great recruiter. Jimmy Johnson, you had to call him. Jimmy Johnson picked, Jason Taylor. He picked Zach Thomas. Jimmy Johnson knew what he was doing. He did great in Dallas and won 2 Super Bowls, right?
Yeah, they did.
He wanted to sit Marino. And we all got pissed off at Jimmy Johnson, but he knew what he was doing. He wanted to sit Marino. It was time to sit Marino and move on and get young players. Marino was that old cat, It was like the Drew Bledsoe until Brady took over, And Brady was the fresh blood. But this guy, I mean, listen, man, when you got 27 seconds on the clock and it's second down, or you got your third down coming up and a fourth down, from the Tamiami Colts to when I played at Miami Beach on the 55ers, that means you were 55 pounds, and then the 65ers and the 70. If there was a clock back then as a little kid, or and there were refs, because it was the coaches were reffing the game. But if there's 25 seconds left, and and the other team only has one timeout, I mean, they're only going to call the one timeout, and you're going to just take a knee. It's just fundamental, elementary.
It's 101.
Explain it to me like a third grader. How do you, como decimos nosotros, yo no sé cómo se te puede ir ese avión, porque there's no way. Se te pueden ir otros aviones, pero el avión ese no se puede ir. They take a knee and call it a night. Let's do this.
I don't know what he was trying to prove, bro.
He put those kids in a really shitty position, and you got a running back crying. I mean, who runs the ball with what NFL team runs the ball with 25 seconds when you just got to take 2 knees?
It's bonehead.
Give it that first loss, because if you're going to lose to North Carolina, you lose to North Carolina. But you have the game won against Georgia Tech. You don't give away a game.
And still stay in the top 25.
And still stay in the top 20, which I said somebody's doing Miami a favor, because really, I mean, whatever. But anyways, all right. So what else do you want to talk about there, buddy?
Just talk to us about you. I know your background, bro. I mean, we used to play basketball back in the 90s, but we were even part of that. You in Ray Fandino's in La Finca.
In La Finca, we had some great games out there.
No, that was fun, bro. And then we were part of that crappy softball team. So I know your background. I know you, but many people don't, unfortunately, especially the younger folks. So tell us where you're from, your background, who were your influences growing up, why you got into music, man.
Well, Dad was a musician, so I grew up with music in the house, and Dad was playing with Fania All-Stars, Johnny Pacheco, Celia Cruz, Willie Chirino would be at our house, Chevy from the Antiques, all these cats always at the house, So I grew up, that Sunday paella, or the Sunday arroz con, el arroz con, ¿cómo se llama eso? Arroz con pollo, el chorrao, el chopao, whatever it was called.
Yeah, a la chorrera.
Musicians would come by, and Dad would bring out the congas, and the musicians would bring their gear, and I grew up around all that stuff. So music was always around the in my ears, on the weekends. And then Dad was playing with Chirino and playing con La Lupe on tour, Santana. Ben Vereen in Vegas, Raquel Welch in Vegas when she was doing the Vegas thing in the early 70s, Yeah. I was always about music, not that that means anything. Your dad could be a pilot, and then you're a dancer, whatever.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
a
yeah.
doctor. Let's say a doctor, and you say, I can't see blood. I just can't be like my dad.
Right, right.
But I don't know. It just stuck with me. I liked it. In high school, I would sing in the hallways, and one day the chorus teacher ran into me, Miss Owens. I don't know if she's alive or not, or passed already. But anyways, she said to me, "Wow, you sing really nice. What's your name?" And I'm like, "My name is Rudy." And she goes, "Well, wouldn't you want to be in chorus singing like that?" I go, "Yeah, I guess." I didn't know anything about chorus. I was just taking my class. She goes, "Well, let me see your schedule one day," and blah blah blah. And I don't know how she got me. She got me out of biology and into chorus, and here I am. Great move. You know.
Bro, that's awesome, bro. And then, how did you get started with Secret Society? How did Secret Society come
Well,
about?
I didn't get started with Secret Society. When I started writing music, I went to University of Miami after South Miami Senior High. I took like a year off as a kid, at 17, 18. And I didn't start college. I took like a year off to like if like I was retired. Like, man, I spent a long time going to school. Let me take a year off and just hit the beach, ride my motorcycle, just have fun with my friends. I had a brand new Z28, so you can
Oh, man.
imagine. I mean, I was sleeping till 9. Abuela would make a nice breakfast at 10, and
Croquetas.
my day would start around 11. Like a lazy ass. But I was a lazy ass for a good like 8 or 9 months, and then I said, I think I'm gonna study music. I'm gonna go study music. My dad said, well, if you're gonna be a musician, estudia, aprende a leer música, la teoría, para que seas un músico bueno.
Right, right.
And my dad was really good buddies with Vince Lawrence, who was the dean of music at UM. And I got in there by a favor. I didn't get in there with good grades. I just got in there because my dad made a phone call.
Connections.
Yeah, little connections, and they got me in. I was always like a B student. I'd get an A here and an A there, but and a C here and a C there. So I was a B student.
Yeah.
And I studied at UM, and I'm glad I did, because it was one of the coolest things. With learning from some of the best. UM has a great music program. I wish it would have been like today with all the digital recording and all the cool shit that's involved in music these days, which I'm doing here at home. Right. But I learned a lot. JC, and I'm glad I did, because when you're going to do something, if you're going to do something, do it right. Try to be the best you can to a certain degree. I'm glad I studied with Don Bennett. He was my vocal principles teacher, professor. And I'd see him 3 times a week, and he really pushed me. I didn't know that, being a good vocalist, that's what it took, and so, thanks to all that, I was able to write the songs that I wrote, and what I continue doing today with the help of God and being a healthy guy. Thank God that I have the strength and the knowledge and the power to do this kind of stuff and be artistic-y and all that fun stuff. It's a big package, being a musician.
Yeah.
It's not just you can just be a writer. You can just be a singer. I'm just a lyricist. I'm a composer. I just do the music. I do jingles. I do commercials, soundtracks. There's so much. I mean, music for video games, music for porno films. I mean, there's music's involved in so many aspects. You don't really think about it.
Yeah.
But it's everywhere. Like Nationwide is on your side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You imagine a 7 no jingle and making all that money? Whoever wrote that.
I know, man. I know. So before Secret Society, you were in a band.
So before Secret Society, I graduated from UM. My dad had a record label, Tanya Records, which is my sister Tanya.
Oh, really?
And my dad's name is Tani, like Tony, but with an A. Yeah. Tani, Tani. That was my dad's name, Tani Gil. And Dad had a record label. He would put out, like Latin jazz out. And that was his thing, this whole Latin jazz, and had a band called Chequere, Walpataca, con Walfredo, Paco Echevarria, Cachao, and that's why it's called Walpataca. Walfredo, Paquito, Tani, and Cachao, Walpataca. It was a Latin jazz record. I was able to play guitar in that. My dad let me play guitar in like 3 of the tracks, which was really cool. That's like 89, 90. And I started writing, and I came up with a song called "Why Did You Run Away?" Believe it or not. And I took it when I had a little 4-track recorder. That's how I put it together with a couple of synthesizers and a drum machine. And I took it to a guy named Carlos Menendez, which was the only DJ I knew back in the days, from a club called the Beat Club on Bird Road and like 90th Avenue in some strip mall. There was a club called the Beat Club. It was a teenage bar, you know? So I went there with my track, and he says to me, man, that shit is better than the Expose song. And I said, really? And he goes, so you think I have something here? He goes, oh, no, that's a #1 record. And I just had that, you and I, you can see the way we're feeling, and it hurts us deep inside.
That's a badass song to this day. If that song was to come out today, it would be a #1 hit.
I don't know what happened. I just put it out on my dad's label. I know that then I got a call from Acedo Llerena. I got a call from a Billy Holoquist. I got a call from a guy named Mohammed Moretta. I got a call from Bill Kelly. And all these guys were the directors of record pools where DJs would go to get their vinyl. This is all new to me back in those days. We're talking 1985, 86 here.
Yeah. Okay,
I had just graduated from UM. And I said, well, let me put what I've learned and what I know and what God gave me to the test here, you know. And all of a sudden, I got a call from a guy named Funky Frank Walsh at Rhythm 98, that the Groovin' Cuban.
The late Funky Frank.
The late Funky Frank and the Groovin' Cuban and the Tony the Tiger and the Gino Latino. That the Why Did You Run Away is their #1 record and the #1 requested song on Rhythm 98, some little station down south.
I remember Rhythm
Casi Carajo with a 20-mile radius antenna. So only those inside the antenna radius could hear Why Did You Run Away. And then before you knew it, Tanner in the morning, Bill Tanner, right?
I remember him, yeah. The late Tanner.
And Bill Tanner got me on what was back then 96X. I don't know if you remember.
96. I remember I-95. I remember I-95. Listen to I-95 as a kid. My brother used to always listen to.
Well, it was 96X before it was 96X, then something 96 Hits X, and then it was Power 96, and then it turned into all that. And I thought Cox on the radio, and then I got a call from Bobby Ellerby from Hot 105, where Bo Griffin was, and she went there after Power, and you know how these guys would all be always moving around. Dude, and before you know it, it's 1985, 86, and I have the #1 record in Miami.
Wow.
On the dance charts, you know, on Billboard, on Flamingo Record Pool, Florida Record Pool, Skylight Record Pool, and all these record pools. And I got into Orlando, I got into Phoenix, Desert Storm Record Pool. Then I got played a little bit in Philadelphia. From Philadelphia, it went into New York, you know, onto, and then I can't believe it that I was being played in Los Angeles in K-Rock, which is more a rock station, but
yeah,
I think they had like a little baby crossover thing. Anyways, to make a long story short, Why Did You Run Away? I sold over 80,000 copies.
That's huge, man. That's
huge for like, you know, $9.99 a 12-inch back in the days.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And for starting out, and it was just
it was
just you, right?
Yeah, it was just me. I did everything. It was just Rudy Gil. It was Why Did You Run Away? If you look at the record, it says Rudy Gil. There's no secret. I didn't know anybody in Secret Society at that point. I didn't knew any of these guys. I was doing my shit myself, just doing my own thing. You know, playing the keyboards. I was able to play a little keyboard, played the little guitar part, and I programmed my Juno 106 synthesizer, and I did the drum parts with my fingers, believe it or not, with a metronome that Mike Fuller from Criteria. That was the first time I used a metronome, and then and that's how I did it. There was no looping like today. You had to play that shit for 3.5 minutes and not fuck up.
Bro, so you were literally a one-man band.
I was a one-man band, JC. That, at least with that song, I was a one-man band. And then throughout the years, I did all the music, and I co-wrote some lyrics with Frank from Secret, and even Dave would write a line or two, and I would like, bring it on, guys, bring it on, because I was really good putting music together. Right. I've always been really good putting music together. I'll put some nice lyrics together, but I totally believe to this day, my forte is putting good music together.
Well, I mean, when you go live, I love watching when you go live and you start getting
Yeah.
all the stuff together. It's like you bring us along for the ride for the process of that next song.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I like to be interactive with people. I mean, it's the
I
people
love
who
that.
listen, it's the people who buy, it's the people who stream now, it's the people who go see you live somewhere. So I think if you're close and you're tight, I think musicians are closer to their fans now more than ever before. You know?
Yeah, especially with everything that with COVID, especially that during COVID, we couldn't, you guys couldn't perform live,
No, no,
and we couldn't go see anybody live. And
no, no.
then I think after that, a lot of musicians did draw near to the fans through social media and all that stuff. I
Right.
remember, I'm a huge Chicago fan, and I remember Chicago playing together, like through Zoom, playing together through Zoom for their fans to be able to
Enjoy
enjoy
like
it.
like going to a baby concert, staying at home.
Yeah, which was very, very cool. All right,
Which,
so
by the way, I'm
oh,
good friends. I'm good friends with Alfredito, the drummer for Chicago.
really, really, well, he's a low. I know he's a really down to earth guy because I've reached out to him and him and me have chatted back and forth.
Oh, yeah, you can ask him. Tell him que lo manda saludos Rudy, el hijo de Tani, because his dad plays with my dad, Walfredo. Walfredo
Oh,
is the Wal in
uh-huh.
Walpataca.
Wow. That's really cool, man. It's amazing, and it's amazing how everything goes. We all go back, and it's a small world, man.
Absolutely.
It's a very small world. So you got, why did you run away? And then
I got Why Did You Run Away out. I grew up with like the Police. When I was in high school, the Police, the Ramones, Devo, Thomas Dolby, the B-52s. Those were the bands on the radio, doing their thing. Of course, rock, like bands like Boston,
right.
Foreigner, Foghat, all these cool bands. Led Zeppelin, of course. And
Yeah.
anyways, I grew up always everything I was watching, and when finally MTV came out, it was one band after another band. Haircut 100, Kaja Gugu, Johnny Hates Jazz. All these Screedy Politti, all these cool Men at Work, the Police, and
Frankie
just one
Goes to
band.
Hollywood.
I was always like a band. Like I thought it was cool to be in a band. I wasn't Rick Astley. I wasn't Tom Jones. I was, even though it was Rudy Gil as I started, but
right.
I always thought that the band thing was cooler than the soloist. Now I'm thinking Michael Bublé is pretty damn cool.
Hell yeah.
And
Hell
Sade
yeah.
is very cool. She's got great musicians, but it's Sade. Same as Michael Bublé or whoever. Or look at Rod Stewart, right?
Right.
Elton John. I mean, it's pretty cool to be your own guy. Now I'm kind of like my own guy again. Everything goes full circle, JC. So I did the band thing. I started going around and looking at bands play, and my record was really hot. As a matter of fact, Frank came to me. I was performing at a Parallel Bar, I think it was. Parallel Bar, and he came to me, hey man, I'm a drummer and blah blah blah. I really like your shit. And he had this long hair, he had his beads like a santero, kind of crazy looking, human being.
Yeah.
And he's kind of cool guy, skinny, tall. I go, oh, he's got that vibe, he's got the look. And then I met Bobby, because Bobby played with Chirino, and Bobby was the sax player para Willie Chirino, and he was playing with my dad. So when I was, I didn't know any of these guys. I asked my dad, hey, Bobby, ¿conoces algún buen saxofonista? I was putting together Too Blind to See. And my dad goes, usa Bobby, que toca con nosotros. Él es buenísimo, él es de la edad tuya, más o menos. I think Bobby's like a year or two older than me. But back then, it was cool. And then he came to the studio, and I played him, on the keyboards, what I wanted the solo to sound like, the ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da. And he did it on the thing, and then did his own thing, and then it just, we collaborated there. He did the solo for me. I paid him, and then to think that then he became a member of Secret Society after doing that, did the really cool horns on, on Why Did You on You Said You Love Me, and then the ba-da-ba on We Belong Together, and he was part of the band. And that's how I met Bobby. Thanks to my dad. Again, my dad, getting me a saxophone player to fill in to do the solo on a song that I wrote.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome, bro. Question: any cool stories, crazy stories during your time from Secret Society? I know there's some crazy stuff.
Oh, we had some
Try
crazy
and keep
stuff.
it PG, bro. Try and keep it PG. But I know
I'll tell you one. I'll tell you one that we were playing in the Cayman Islands. We got flown to the Cayman Islands, and we took a DJ with us. Which back in the days, you know, it was the pimp with the limp. We took DJ Labs with us. You know?
Wow.
And we took DJ Labs with us over there, and you know, of course, we met all those beautiful island girls over there in the Caymans, and we played at the nightclub, and we were saying to ourselves, man, isn't this like more of a reggae kind of vibe here? This you know, we're going somewhere like, imagine going to Jamaica, but you got Secret Society fans, you know, like,
yeah,
you're thinking, man, we're not a reggae band, man. They're gonna throw tomatoes at us, man. You know, what are we gonna do in Jamaica doing this crazy music? You know, but they loved it, man. We had a crazy place called, I forgot what the name of the club was. I think it was, I know the owner, his name was Montana, a really nice guy.
Okay.
And an English guy. So, you know, he was playing all that kind of music from Miami. He would fly to Miami, buy vinyl for his DJs over there, and he was playing Miami kind of clubby music in the Cayman Islands, which is pretty cool. And we got there, everybody knew the music. And then that night at the hotel, you know, we had all these girls. You know how it was. Girls would come back in limos and into the rooms, and they wanted to meet the musicians. And I remember we hogtied DJ Laz. And then Frank, there was something in we were staying this really pretty like condo that had like kitchen, you know, that kind of place.
Yeah.
And Frank found like, I don't know, I think it was Wesson Oil. I think it was Wesson Oil, one of those oils. And we hogtied him with our belts, with our own belts that we had for our jeans and our pants. And we poured Wesson Oil on him. We took all his clothes off. He was bare naked. We poured, and DJ Laz will vouch. You can ask him, JC. And we hogtied him, and then Frank opened one of the pillows, and we pretty much, instead of tarred and feathered him, we oiled him up and feathered him. He looked like a big giant chicken. Totalmente en cuero, en pelota, con todas las plumas de la almohada.
That's funny, man. Yeah, and speaking of DJ Laz, he started because of Cito Yenena, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, a funny story about Cito. I worked for Cito.
Really?
After he left DJing, that he was not doing anything. He worked for ABC Distributing. It was a magazine, ordering magazine.
Wow.
I think it's not, now I think it's called LTD Communication, something like that. But I'm out ABC Distributing, and he was the floor call manager. My uncle worked directly for him, and I worked for my uncle. So I got to be Cito Yenena, cool guy, and he said that he did not want to. He had to stop DJing. And then when he divorced his wife, I know he went back to DJing and partying, and he went back to the clubs.
Well, you know, he was like in a, I don't want to say infamous, but probably one of the coolest bars in Florida. I mean, Casanova's was the shit.
I've heard stories from my brother and from my cousin,
dude.
And from Ray Bandino. I've heard stories.
We played there. We played Grace Jones, Madonna, Jelly Bean Benitez. I mean, anybody who was anybody, man. Rick Astley, everybody, man. Like the good stuff, man. Like the good stuff. Evelyn Champagne King. You know, I mean, Franz Jolie when she was a nobody. You know, I mean, she was just come to me. Man,
Franz Jolie. Wow, that's wow. Yeah, I heard Casanova was the place to be back in the day. Back in the 70s and 80s, that was the hottest place. And that was what in Hialeah, no, or was it Miami?
That was right there in Hialeah Drive, man, right off of Lejeune Road. Now it's like I think it's a Walgreens right now.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
bueno, después de Secret Society and Le Grande Finale, que to me, bro, one of my favorite albums. To me, it's still one of my favorite albums. To this day, one of my favorite albums.
Some good tracks in there.
Yeah, a lot of good tracks there, man. And after that, I know you started doing Spanish, or were you always doing Spanish and just?
I did a little bit of Spanish music. I don't think I was a great Spanish singer. You got to have this different kind of gusto to sing in Spanish.
Let me tell you something.
Maybe Spanish rock alternative I could pull off, but what I was trying to do is more of a Spanish, and I don't think I have what it takes for that. You got to like stay in your pocket. You got to know what you're good at.
I get what you're saying, pero te digo una cosa. You're better in Spanish than Gloria Estefan. Gloria Estefan did English and Spanish. I think she sucks in Spanish. God bless her, because she's a great artist. Yep. But I think she sucked in Spanish. I think I've heard some of your stuff in Spanish. I dig it. And I remember you even went to some country. That's how you got back together.
Country I can pull off. Country I can do. I can yodel. I'm pretty good with that. I like country music. I listen to it all the time. I really dig a lot of I listen to their lyrics. I listen to their structures are pretty simple, but their lyrics are pretty fun and interesting. And it's all about either girls.
It's a story.
It's either whiskey, girls, trucks, and a nice sunset. You know.
And my favorite one was the one you pulled out during the COVID. You know.
Oh yeah, wearing a mask like an outlaw.
Yeah, I love that song, man. And
that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
And they played it over and over.
I've worked with Morgan Wallen. I've worked with a couple of cool country guys in Nashville. I've worked with Hoodie and a Booty and really cool actors. I'm having a lot of fun right now in my older age. Passing kind of the baton and writing for other people and helping other people out.
Well, before we move into that, how did it feel getting back together with Frank Lords after all these years, bro? I know it was 20 plus years.
Man, I gotta tell you, we tried that. I gotta tell you, JC, we tried that about a year and a half ago. I don't know if you remember.
I remember that.
I got to tell you, we tried that, and I was a little disappointed. I was a little disappointed with Miami. Maybe we didn't have the right promoter promoting the show, but I got to tell you, this is not the town. This is a very transient town. Okay, there's a lot to do in Miami. A lot.
Yeah.
I get it. We go to the Keys. You can hit the beach. You hit the Grove. You hit Wynwood. There's always a car show. We have NASCAR. We got Art Basel. You name it. We got Coconut Grove Arts Festival. Then we got the other arts festival. And there's always something going on. And I got to tell you, man, I was a little disappointed with. I think everything has its time. Let's just say everything has its time. And I said to myself, nah, I'm not going to beat a dead horse and try to make it drink water when it's a dead horse.
Yeah.
No matter how you want to look at it. You can try to shove it down people's. I know there was right now there's like a big, not a big, but freestyle kind of made a little baby. I'm going to call it a baby comeback. It's just a baby comeback. The people who are kicking ass are your Dua Lipas, your different people are kicking ass. This whole freestyle thing is, I think it's us older folks trying to relive when we were 25 and enjoying a night of that, like these Charlie Rodriguez freestyle concerts, and he brings all these people, the George Lamonts, the Cover Girls, the Johnny O's, the whoever. And then you gotta put about 20 acts together to get about 500 people to pay $50.
Wow.
Because one or two acts ain't gonna cut it. Guaranteed.
Well, and I've seen that some of these guys have tried doing a comeback. I know Lil Susie's still doing stuff, and
but they're not. How do I call it? I don't want to call them comebacks.
No, I
want to call them impromptu visits.
Yeah, because they keep playing the same music.
None of these artists. I'm not knocking any artist. Okay,
no,
everybody does whatever the hell they want to do. I'm not here to judge anybody. I can tell you, hey, I think you're wasting your time, JC. But hey, it's your time. It's not mine. I can't tell you what to do with your time. You want to waste it? Go ahead and waste it. I personally, you don't know how many people I've been approached with. Rudy, can you put your voice on this track? Then I go and I listen to the track and I say, bro, you're stuck in 1986. I don't want to sing anything like that. And it's nothing. Sometimes I may come across a little like arrogant, or I might sound that I think I'm better than you. I'm not. It's just that with music, it's very personal to me. It's very, and when you're 60, when you're my age, Jay, when you're our age, when you start getting a little older, bad moves will take you back. Not, 5 steps is forward, 3 steps back. No, a bad move can take you back 100 steps. And it takes a long time to get back to the winner's circle.
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So
yeah.
I try to do quality, cool shit for today. That's what I do.
And I've been listening to your stuff with 80 Degrees West.
Oh, that's my favorite. I'm having more fun with 80 Degrees West. Okay, and that is my own band. 80 Degrees West is Rudy Gil, so you know. But I didn't want to call it. I didn't want to call it Rudy Gil because I didn't want to taint it. Right. And think that you're going to hear Rudy Gil singing freestyle. No, 80 Degrees West is brand new music. Do you know that 70%, and I'll send you a personal text with it, from Spotify artists. That's the page for artists that are on Spotify, just like your artist page for YouTube, your artist page for Amazon Music, and your artist page for Apple Music. You have an artist page, and then there's a fan page where you go in there, you can make an account, and you listen to music. You right? My age demographics, JC, right now for a song called Buttercup, and the new song now called Can You Keep It a Secret, which we're filming.
Great song.
We're filming the video tomorrow. My age demographic, 71% of my listeners are between 18 to 34 years old.
Wow. So I just missed the cut because
2% are over 59.
Really?
Yes, sir. I swear on my abuelita's grave, and I don't swear on abuelita.
I know.
I love the abuelita to death because you know how abuelas are with us. They love you even more than your own mom.
Yeah, but I remember my Mima, man, she ella me defendía.
Oh, bro. I loved her. Abuela siempre tenía un dulce, una panetela, un flan, un arroz con leche. No. Esa abuela, como yo quería esa abuela.
Yeah, bro.
Anyways, so I'm so excited about that, JC, that
I'm thinking 80 Degrees West, man.
Just today alone, and I'll send you the picture of that. I'm not boasting, and I don't blow smoke up my own ass. Trust me. Today alone, I don't know right now. I haven't checked in the last hour and a half because I was running today at work. I having dinner, took a shower. I know I had your thing. I was 15 minutes late to your thing, and I'm a very punctual guy. But today alone, JC, I've had over 1,055 downloads of Can You Keep It a Secret?
It's in my playlist. I'll tell you, it's in my playlist on Spotify, and so is Buttercup.
They're great. They're great tracks, and
they're great tunes, bro.
And listen, when I got a Sony record deal, I got a distribution deal with Sony last year. I mean, what 60-year-old? You tell me how many 60-year-olds you know. I got it at 59, but how many 59-year-old cats do you know that get a call from Sony and say, "Hey, man, we want to give you a distribution deal. We like the shit you're putting out." It doesn't exist, man.
No, man.
And when Greg Vickers, the CEO of Sony North America, because Ruben Leyva from Sony Latino here in Coconut Grove said, "Man, you got to listen to this guy." Greg Vickers didn't know who I was really because he's the newer CEOs now in these companies. They only know about Ariana Grande's, they know about the Dua Lipa, they know about the Ed Sheerans, but they don't know about Rudy Gil. They don't. And you got to accept that. He said, "How old is that guy? 25?" Because when he heard my voice singing, Ruben Leyva told him that motherfucker's 60.
Yeah, 60. And when you hear the music, you think you're listening to a young dude, and it's amazing. But you have
It's super cool. And what's even cooler is how many fans have found out that it is me and because they call our stuff, these young guys now, these young 27, 28-year-olds that go out clubbing say, "Oh man, I love your old school jams." I'm an old school jam kind of guy, but then they're cool because they say, "Man, but I'm really digging that new vibe you got going on." These young guys, these young cats, these young girls, they write to you on Instagram. They send you their thing. "Hey man, I just passed your song. I put it on my playlist," and you get all this feedback, which is so freaking cool.
For one, I'm stuck in the 80s. I love 80s music. I love 80s movies. But like I said, what you're putting out with 80 Degree West, you know, it's cool as hell. Because again, like I said, I have it on my playlist. I got a whole bunch of, and I have it under. I have a playlist called Old School, and I have your new stuff under Old School. Because
there you go. There you go.
I don't have enough songs that I like new that I could create a playlist for. And so I have you under that playlist because I'm stuck. I'm one that I'm stuck in the 80s.
That's awesome. Oh, that's cool. It's good stuff. There was a lot of great music. Great music, great times.
Man, I know you're about to. I know you have to get ready, but real quick, I know you were doing something with Ray Guel and DJ Juancho. Is that still going on, or did that happen? I believe it was a cruise.
That hasn't even started yet. I reached out to Ray Guel because Ray Guel, I like. Me and Ray have always kept in touch. Ray does his thing. He goes to Brazil. He writes his little songs. He's told me, Rudy, put something together cool for me, And I said, well, just come on over. Let's work on it. I know you live close to me. You live on the beach, I think. I'm here in Little Havana,
Mm-hmm.
I got a really beautiful Pro Tools studio here in the apartment. It's a 2-bedroom. I turned one of the bedrooms into a studio so I can work. And everything you hear from 80 Degrees West comes out of here. As a matter of fact, tonight, we have a little studio session, which we're excited. Right. And nothing, I'd love to work with Ray Guel. I'll work with anybody. I don't. My thing is like, I told Ray, let me put something cool together, and then you sing it, and it'll be like something like 80 Degrees West featuring Ray Guel, which is super cool. And I think it'll do great. I got to tell you, because, I got some really cool ideas as far as, for 2023, 2024 music,
Right.
And well, where I can capture a JC Ortega, but I also have a 24-year-old listening to me. You know what I mean? Right. I think the bigger the window of music, the more listeners you get, and that's what it's all about. Absolutely.
And I know Ray Guel. Ray Guel also has a good voice.
I always mess with him every time I call him. This is my phone call when he calls me. All right, because I mess around with my buddy Ray Guel. So he'll answer, hey Rudy, what's up? And I'm like, I am not just another lover. Why are you so cruel to me? And then, hey, what's up, Ray? And then he cracks up. He goes, you really like that song, do you? I go, you should let me sing it. I think I sing it better than you.
Oh, man. And I know you did some stuff with Erotic Exotic.
I've done stuff with Erotic Exotic when Earl passed away. When Earl passed away, the guys from Erotic reached out to me because they were still kind of gigging. There was still it was like the tail end of freestyle, but they still had their shows, and they said, hey Rudy, can you help us out and sing the songs that Earl wrote and stuff like that. And I said, man, it would be an honor. So I tried to help them out of their bind and get it going. I did my best. I know I gave it almost like a secret society meets Erotic Exotic kind of flair there, but we pulled it off and it was fun.
I've seen some on YouTube because there's a couple of videos on YouTube with where it's called Erotic Exotic featuring Rudy Gil.
Yeah, they were featuring Rudy Gil from cool, Secret, man. And they were helping me out. We would play a secret song, and they would, they learned the song, and we would do it, live with their cool little synthesizer setup. We had a lot of fun. I wouldn't change anything for the world.
Well, last question, because I know you got to run. What else? What can we expect next for Rudy Gil the rest of the year, 2024? What's next?
As you know, Jay, tomorrow we film. Today I'm recording. Tomorrow we film the video, which is super. Wait to see the video for Keep It a Secret. Can you keep it a secret? Really cool. I'm working with Latin Quarters Entertainment with a guy named Paris, young guy. Met me here with the new music. Loved the new music. Wanted me to pitch some new music to the Weeknd. He works with the Weeknd, so I'll be. Hopefully 2024 has some really fun, unexpected surprises for myself. I can't wait to work with Hoodie and the Booty. And the Weeknd, he wants me to do some guitar work for J Balvin. So I got, those are top-notch acts, what they call A+ acts. So he works with A+ acts. He was cool enough to be the producer and for my video tomorrow night, which if you want to come by, you're more than welcome to. It's being shot
I'm in Texas, bro. Remember, I moved to Texas.
Oh, that's right. You're in Texas, man. You can't.
I know. I still promote my team, but
so JC, I have a question for you. Now you being in Texas, so
I'm not a Dallas Cowboys fan. No, I'm not.
I'm not
Because
even
I
going
was
there. Are you going to Ranger it or are you going to Astro it?
no Rangers.
Rangers?
Yeah, I'm closer to Dallas than I am to, or I'm closer to Arlington than I am to Houston.
Okay.
So
All right, cool.
I'm
Well, they're off to a great start.
2-0, 2-0.
They've won the first 2 away.
Yep. And people are surprised. They haven't lost in the playoffs so far this year. Everybody's surprised.
It looks like a Rangers Phillies kind of, maybe I'm smelling the Phillies taking it all kind of there.
I don't think Rangers are gonna beat the Phillies, but I think the Rangers will make it to the World Series. It'll be cool if they will. It'll be cool if they won.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, Rudy, thank you, bro. Thank you.
All right, man. Thanks for having me. Hopefully we can do it again, maybe before the holidays, and see.
That'll be awesome. That'll be awesome. Guys, check out Rudy Gil, 80 Degrees West on Spotify, Amazon Music, and
it's everywhere.
Everywhere. He is kicking ass and taking names.
It is. It's doing really well, and I thank God for that. I really do.
Amen, bro. Amen. He's our provider, bro. Yes, God bless you, bro.
Yep. You stay healthy. You stay safe out there, and we'll do this soon.
Yes,
we'll do it again, maybe before the holidays.
Un abrazo, bro.
All right, man. Un abrazo.